Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Fun Friend Friday. My name is Reid. I am your Fun Friend Friday host and your success coach, and it's 8 a.m. and it's Friday, so what does that make? Fun Friend Friday. I love Fun Friend Friday because we get a chance to meet with some of my fellow JMT coaches, business leaders, thought leaders, people from around and about that I know that I just want to take an opportunity and share with you. So take a moment. Good morning, Steve. Good morning, Kathy. Take a moment, share this out while we get started. Good morning, Randy. Hope you are well. I am near your office today. Take a moment, share this out. We have a Fun Friend Friday starting in just a moment. Last week we had Matthew and dropped that nugget about, are we seeking acceptance or seeking respect? And that's sort of been buzzing around in my head since last Friday. So I'm excited to see what Karel, our new fun friend for this Friday, Fun Friend Friday friend, will bring. There he is. I'll bring you on in just a minute, my little white brother. You'll have to understand the rest of the story for that. But welcome everybody to Fun Friend Friday. Take a minute, do me a favor, slow down, settle in, and get ready to learn from my friend, Karel. I'm excited to connect with him, and I'm excited to introduce him to you as well. We are going to get started here in just a minute. So for those of you that want to do a Facebook share or a Facebook Live with somebody else, I'm going to sort of walk you through the steps as we do it so that when it's your turn, you're set and ready. So always use your iPhone. For some reason, Facebook hasn't quite opened this up to laptop phone like sharing. I like to have my phone in this profile. I make sure that the other person on the other line has their phone in this profile. And then you simply wait for them to come online. You've often seen where somebody will join Facebook or come on board and you'll see the add button. Well, then you just slide over and click invite. Now, see, Karel, you just went and moved your phone around. Go back, restart, and we'll get there in just a minute. There we go. I think I'll be able to add. Should be bringing you on board here in just a minute. It says I can't. Are you on your phone or on your laptop, buddy? Let me try it this way. Oh. We're going to keep trying. All right. Now I think we got it. Counting down. Should be here in just a minute. Fun Friend Friday will kick off as soon as we see. There you. Oh, what
there
is
we
this?
go.
You got hair again, my friend.
How are you, Eric?
How
and
are
hello,
you
everybody.
this morning?
It's afternoon in South Africa, 2 p.m. So it's a nice, cloudy, rainy, cold summer's day.
Summer's day in South Africa. Now, are you in South Africa or Zambia today?
South Africa.
South Africa. See, so now my voice is going to become all snooty and proper because I want to sound like a proper South African.
I'll start speaking with an Afrikaans accent.
Oh, so welcome. I have missed you, my friend, and I am glad we are jumping in and doing this. You know, I met what, four years ago, has it been?
Yeah, that's right.
So, and 4 years ago, spring, not fall JMT.
It was August.
August, yeah. So the August JMT 4 years ago. And I have to say, I don't know why we've remained friends. He gives me so much crap. He's always riding me. He's like, so our joke was because, you know, it's my little white brother in Christ, because if you get to meet him, which I hope you all get to do someday, I think you're what, 4'9", 4'10", something like that.
That's not funny.
See, the wonderful thing about my JMT family is that we are really truly like family, and sometimes I get to be the little brother and sometimes I get to be the big brother, and in this case I get to be the big brother that picks on Karel. So tell them about so you used to be in Zambia, you're now in South Africa.
Right, yes.
With the lions and elephants and bears.
Well, no, we don't have bears here, but the lions and the elephants on the street, and that's actually not a joke. We've had a few cases where they've escaped from the game parks, so it's not unusual to have lions in some parts near the Kruger or on the streets. But I left Zambia in at the end of 2016 and came back to South Africa to try and start a new life. Hopefully the family will join me here by August this year. And so far everything's going well. It's been an adjustment, and trying hard not to get lost in the day-to-day challenges and staying on track with the coaching and the teaching.
I like that. So you are one of the coaches, leaders that has a regular job or a full-time job in business and career. And then you also have the other side of your life that you're building and growing. And that is working primarily with youth and other industry leaders on leadership development. So for those people, and so that's kind of where I want to start off is, not all of us have the luxury of diving fully into our passion, that we have to make sort of a segue out and a segue in. How do you manage that time commitment and dream commitment of living in sort of two worlds?
Yeah, the biggest challenge is trying to block your time. When you are in the day-to-day run of a business, trying to get a mindset shift into going to the coaching side is quite difficult. The way you look at things is very different, and it's hard to prioritize the coaching when you know that the daily work and the daily job that pays the salary still has to go on.
So granted, we all need to earn an income, pay the mortgage, take care of the kids, and all of that. But how do you find the energy after a long day of being at work to then re-engage with your dream?
I think if it's truly your dream, the energy comes by itself. You know, it's something you look forward to at the end of the day. You deal with the issues that you have in your day-to-day job, trying to put the food on the table. But when you know that now is the time, I can now go home, you open the books, you open your laptop, and you start speaking to your clients. That's the part that really drives you. That's the part that gives you the energy to go a few more hours until the end of the day before you have to knock off and go to sleep and prepare for the next day again.
So what I think I hear you saying is, what I think I hear you saying is that though the job, the job, the check giver may not be your purpose and passion, you use the energy that you create in your purpose and passion to motivate you to go back to doing the job so that you have the funds, the tools, and the financing to live your dream.
Exactly, you know, and part of and I think we discussed this quite a few months ago, part of the setup and also which enables what we try to teach in the coaching is to get to a point where your business, whether it's a small business or a large enterprise, can be self-sustaining by itself so that you can start spending more and more time. It encourages you and it kind of drives you to structure any business for yourself or your clients in such a way that they can step out and follow their passion.
So he kind of hinted at two book titles, Ken Kiyosaki's and The E-Myth,
Yes.
Because are you creating a job for yourself for life? If you work or in business, are you just creating a lifelong job, which means that it won't function without you functioning it? Or are you truly creating a business that you're hiring and employing and empowering people to make decisions so that it will fund the rest of your life, the other pieces of your life, whether that's coaching, speaking, or traveling, or writing, or becoming a fitness coach, or running motorcycles around a track?
Exactly. It definitely has to be the latter part. You know, we can all be self-employed, work for yourself for the rest of your life, or you can own a business that will run itself and carry on by itself. And that's what we have to strive for. There's a saying that you have to avoid working in your business rather than on your business. It's easy to get sucked into the day-to-day tasks, menial tasks, you know, and start micromanaging. So what I'm creating is the business that will run itself eventually. It will need my oversight every once in a while, but I can then focus on the fun parts, the following the dream that you are always pointing out I have to do.
So question, how do you stop yourself from becoming that micromanager, that technician, that, oh, I'll do it myself. These people are all idiots. I've just got to take it back.
It's difficult. I can actually see we've got quite a few friends from Zambia watching, and they will know that, especially in the Zambian environment, micromanagement is what you have to do. The kind of work that I've been involved in, if you don't have your finger on it all the time, you can easily crash and burn. Now, the greatest challenge has been to draw the line and segment the responsibilities in terms of tasks once delegated, and tasks once assigned, and responsibilities once delegated, and trying to teach yourself to be able to say, all right, fine, I know I can fix this problem in 5 minutes myself, but the person I've assigned to do this or empowered to do that, they have to take that responsibility and the ownership. And you've kind of have to sit on your hands and make sure you don't get up, and then just push on through and let's see what they come up with. Work with them once they come up with a solution that they think will work. Coach them through it to find, if it's not the right solution, coach them through it to find the best way to do it that you would like to do it. It's for them to see your vision of how a problem can be solved, a vision of how the company should run. And once they understand that part, then it becomes a lot easier for you to step back and leave the management over to them, and you just oversee the process.
So big chunk of wisdom, and I'm processing it. Some days I'm quick, some days I'm slow, but I'm still good. What I think I hear you saying is, like, it may be a struggle to shut up and watch, but and it may also be exhausting to be in that suspend, I can't do it, I can't step in moment. But if you don't allow that process to occur, you're going to be doing it over and over and over again, versus it may be painful once, but if I do this right, it's the last time I have to go through this process.
Exactly. You have to, it's a trade-off between your actual cost, the potential cost of the error, and then your opportunity cost. What is it going to cost you to not step out of it and be busy day to day trying to fix the small problems? You'll pay once for it if you leave it to them and you walk them through it and you coach them through it. If you keep doing it yourself, it's going to cost you a fortune.
We got to go back on this, because I think this is where a lot of managers / leaders / bosses miss it. Is they're like, oh my God, I just got to get it done, move out of the way kind of mentality. And then a year from now or 2 years from now, they're going to be having that same pattern of behavior. And they're going to be like, my business isn't growing. I'm not getting the breakthroughs. Why am I stuck? I was supposed to just bake cupcakes for the first 6 months and then sit on the beach for the rest of my life. And here I am 15 years later, still in the day-to-day operations. And what you're pointing out is it's because we didn't take the risk and we didn't take the time to let our employees, those people we're leading, our coworkers fail or succeed. But even in that moment of failure, then coaching them through towards success, that we're so worried about the short-term outcome that we're forfeiting the long-term gain.
That's right. And it's easy to let them see that you can fix the problem, and you think to learn. We learned that first you have to show somebody how to do it, then you watch them do it, and then you let them do it by themselves. And if they burn their fingers, that's fine. The challenging part is, again, you want to see the results. You want to see the results now. But it's being able to see the long-term results, being able to see past today, looking at the end of the month, the end of the financial year, and being able to see how all that fits into the greater picture. That is where you can then make the decision to step out. If you constantly show someone how to do it, each time something goes wrong, they will sit back, fold their arms, and say, it's all right, he will come around and he will fix the problem.
So you've taken over a lot of companies, and that's a big piece of what you do, is come in and help companies begin to make that shift or survive that shift.
Right.
When you walk into a company that has that culture of, you see the boss, the supervisor, the owner that will always come in at the last minute and rescue everybody and throw their hands up and declare everybody's an idiot, you got to do it my way, watch. How do you get that shift of across the culture of, like, one, the boss is not coming in anymore, and two, boss, stop going in? How do you give that sense of security? Because during that change, there's a lot of uncertainty.
There is none, but with the guys that we're working with right now, most of them are already so deep in trouble that they cannot get any deeper into it. And you find the first 3 or 4 instances where you sit down with them and say, hang on, you have to step back. You have to take a step back, look at the situation from a distance, see what the guy does, guide and coach him as he goes. And you find that after the 3rd or the 4th try, they are a lot more susceptible to doing it, when they can see that them not actually fixing the problem can still bring good results. Because most of the people that we have, they have the answers. They are the ones at the cold face doing all the work. They know exactly what has to be done. But it's, as managers, we tend to limit people's vision and their ideas for themselves and what they see as their abilities. And we stop them from making the decisions. And sometimes all they need is to see that we are willing to trust them a little bit. It's about the relationship. It's about building that trust relationship both ways. Once the manager sees, or the owner of the company sees, they can trust the people down at the coalface. And those guys can see that they are trusted to make a decision, even if it's a wrong decision, once or twice. They know that they can do it. And it's amazing to see how sometimes, without you getting involved the next time, they will just take that step. The boss will immediately step back and say, it's all yours, you solve it. I had, early on in my career, I had a Danish manager, and he always said to me, once you have a problem and you come to me, you must already have 3 possible solutions on the table. We can then sit and discuss the solutions and see which one will work best. And that's how I started being coached into it. And I try to use that as well. Not just say to the guy, oh, we have this problem. For example, one of the clients, they manufacture safety shoes. When the production line for the boots that bend the steel tip, when that breaks down, he has to be able to go to his manager and say to him, all right, fine, this has happened, and this is how I think we can fix it, and also say which one is his best suggestion. And to the manager, being able to see that the guy already has the answers, that gives a lot of comfort, that gives a lot of peace of mind. And it's much easier for him to just lay up his hands and let the guy run with it.
So what I like, so a lot of companies have Failure Friday, or companies that I work with, and it's basically announce your failures for the week, and everybody gets celebrated for their failure because that means they took the risk. Mm-hmm. They tried something different. They weren't waiting on somebody else to provide a solution. They actually made an attempt on their own. And I think you do, and some cultures and some companies have to build that allowance for failure. But I think also often I'll see where a company or a boss has such a strong vision or such a strong idea that anything that's not right in line with that, they're not willing to accept. And yet they've hired all of these people with all of this talent to come on board, and yet they're not honoring it. And so I think often we, as owners, and especially owners that are entrepreneurs, that came into it from a, I can do it better, this is what I see, vision standpoint, there's a tipping point in the company where your vision is no longer driving the company. The needs of the client are driving the company, and you've hired people around you to meet those needs. And you've got to be willing to set the ego aside, set the vision aside, set your idea of perfect aside, and have somebody else take over.
No, I agree. And on the vision part, when we met in, was it 2014, one of the parts during the conference that really stood out was creating vision carriers. I think there was Paul Martinelli who said that. As an entrepreneur or small business owner, besides for the part of being able to set aside your vision a little bit, you need to, and it's so important, to get your people to see your vision, for them to understand it, and for them to become vision carriers. If they don't share your vision, they will never follow the same path that you want to. Now, that is not always possible, and a lot of people will never really truly understand the owner of the company's vision, and that then is where, as the owner, you need to be able to put those aside and look at the practical side of the business. Look at how it applies to each and every single person coming in every day, slaving away from the morning to the evening, trying to make things work for you. You can better understand them if you can set that aside a bit.
See, it's amazing how sometimes you just light with wisdom, and the rest of the time, I feel like I have to just manage the simple tasks for you, my little brother. Did you hear it, you guys? You need, as bosses, owners, entrepreneurs, parents, leaders in whatever community you want to have influence over, you've got to create vision carriers, not employees, vision carriers. And in exchange for them carrying the vision, they receive a compensation on Friday or every other Friday or at the end of the month or whatever it is. And, when I sort of put this in a biblical teaching perspective, there were only 12 vision carriers. Now, he had masses and masses and masses of people that he was sharing his vision with. But out of that, he could only find 12. And some would say maybe not even all 12 of them were solid vision carriers in the beginning to move it forward. Mm-hmm. So not everybody in your company is going to be a vision carrier. Not everybody is going to be able to become that apostle or disciple or whatever you want to say of the business. But you got to make sure you got that group of 12 or 2 around you, strong enough, carrying your vision forward for you so that you can step out and do the bigger, more important work.
Exactly. And there's no reason why that approach should also not apply to family life. As a family, you also have a vision. And the tricky part is, of course, the husband and the wife or the partners need to be the vision carriers, and selling that vision there, that's one of the more challenging ones that you have to do.
You went there, and did you see how respectful I didn't even say, oh.
I knew I was starting something.
I thought about it, and I thought, no, respect, Eric, respect. Don't bring it up. No, it's sort of a brother-to-brother joke about him and his dating habits.
Relationship habits, not dating habits.
Just a moment of prayer, everybody, for him and his wisdom in choosing the right partners. I love the lessons you've brought to us about creating vision carriers, about stepping out of the vision and allowing other people to pick it up and wear it and go forth and literally sitting on your hands, locking your lips and just saying, tell me what you would do. Show me what you think is best. Bring me your input. And maybe it doesn't perfectly 100% match up one-to-one with what you want, but as long as it's moving in the same direction and getting the same end result, mm-hmm. Sometimes as bosses and leaders, we got to let that happen.
Exactly.
Because the more often we allow that to happen, the more confidence they'll have to move closer into alignment with our vision, and they'll stop becoming employees and they'll start becoming vision carriers. And as soon as we have enough vision carriers in our business, in our family, in our faith, or whatever we're leading, we get to step out and move to a bigger platform.
Exactly. And you will also find that the performance of the company or the organization, when everybody shares the vision, problems come and they go, and people find a much easier way of overcoming them because they see a common goal, they share the common goal. You find a happier, much more welcoming work environment where people are excited to come to work every day. When you do it purely as a job from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5, whatever your hours are, it's tough to wake up every morning. But once they carry and share your vision and they see that passion and they've got a really good environment to go to work in, that's where your performance for the company and for the organization really comes into its own.
See, now you dropped another one. Have them buy into the vision, not into the boss. Have them buy into becoming vision carriers. And I've been in a lot of companies where everybody says, oh, we've got the best boss. Oh, we love our boss. Oh, the owner is so cool. You know, and they're bought into that person who happens to be the vision creator. But one of the shifts that has to happen then in a company is if everybody's bought into the individual, when that individual begins to go off to new platforms, new projects, new ideas, that team or that company feels left behind. And then that creates a lot of grumbling and rumbling and problems that as an employer, as a boss, as a business owner, as an influencer, you've got to be able to get the vision separate from you. You've got to be able to place that vision outside of you so that when you leave to go off and do something else, that the employees and the staff and the team that you built are still in love with the vision, not in love with the boss. And so to do that, we've got to get them connected to the vision. And to do that, as you said, we've got to give them opportunities to fail. We got to give them opportunities to grow. We've got to give them opportunities to take the vision in the direction that they think it can go, even without us.
Exactly. And I can see one of my good friends, Joshua from Zambia, has joined. We used to work together many years ago, and he has probably one of those personalities where he's always wanting to please. And he's a perfect example of somebody who has, through encountering the problems and in the beginning coming to ask how to solve them and how to fix them, he learned through time. And as we worked, and he often says it was hardest on him from everybody, but he learned. And eventually he would just simply walk in the door and say, this is what happened, and this is what we are going to do to fix it. I would not even have to consider it because I knew he could see that same thing. He had the same vision, and he's carrying on with that in his day-to-day life now as well.
I love that. Yeah, I've seen a couple names that I can't pronounce. And so there are those German, Danish, South African combinations. And I was like, Walter, I can do. Walter Wellborn, I can do you. But a couple of them, I apologize. I looked at it, and I've got Louis here, who is our Latino uncle. I thought, do I pronounce the E as an A or an I as an O? And I thought, I'm not going to risk it. That's insulting. And, you know, for Americans, every time we hear somebody from South Africa, first we assume it's the entire continent of Africa that they're from, because, you know, Americans, we tend to be a little world geography challenged. And then we all assume that they have a certain hue to their tone because they're from Africa, and that they should all speak non-German, Danish, things like that. And so that is sort of where the joke of calling you my little white brother in Christ was, because you are little, you are white, and you are my brother, and you don't match anything that if I said I have a friend in Zambia, they'd be like, oh, that's progressive.
Yeah, no, not quite the normal one, but yeah. So you can try, and there are a few names you can pronounce, but let's not embarrass anybody.
Oh no, please! And the embarrassment would be mine. Yeah. So just as a world geography, you speak German. Which languages do you speak?
Afrikaans, English. I'm trying to learn a little bit more Italian, and then a fair amount of Portuguese. From the time I spent
you and
in
Louis
Mozambique.
could hang out. Louis does Spanish and Portuguese, and I think Chinese as well.
Oh, no, that one I can't.
Me, I just speak a lot. I don't speak anything well, and I don't speak anything different. I just speak a lot, which is my fault. No, I can hear a lot of languages. So, you guys, before we start the Fun Friend Friday fun cards, I know.
What's that?
Got to do those. I need you guys to share it out. Share it out, hit the share button so everybody gets to watch Karel do the Fun Friend Friday fun game. But we got to do our theme music. I don't know if this translates over there.
Yeah. I think we grew up with that if you're old enough.
80s sitcom was American.
Was that the Golden Girls?
Yeah. I think Estelle Getty and you are the same height.
That's funny.
So in my no shame to admit my mistakes in life motto, sorry about that, trying to turn it off. So Amy, our beloved Amy from the JMT family. She through a series of medical issues is now deaf, and I was playing the song. I'm like, do you like the song? And she's like, I lip read. Music over iTunes does not work.
That's
for
called
lip
being
reading.
insensitive,
Like,
Eric.
yeah, I was like, sometimes, Eric, you're just not paying attention. It's like I used to run a restaurant, and we had a staff member who was deaf, and I got mad one day, and I'm yelling at him, and somebody taps me on the shoulder and goes, his back's to you. It's not working. And so by the time he turned around, the whole situation was so diffused, it wasn't worth trying to carry on. So, and my goal to try and be more sensitive, I'll get scripted. So Fun Friend Friday, I don't know if they're going to show up, but I'll read them out anyhow. As you guys know, the Lucky Charms cereal, envelopes are in hand. Karel will pick an envelope, and I already know which one he's going for because I know him. And find his secret word. So the first one you can pick from is yellow moon, green clover, red balloon, rainbow. I know they're not showing up because of the light, so trust me. Orange star, blue diamond, and pink heart.
We'll go for the last one.
I was like, duh. If you don't know, he has a daughter. She hung the stars and the moon, and she paints the world beautiful every time she walks through it. She's never done anything wrong in her life.
And never will.
Anything she wants, she gets in a moment's notice because Daddy will do it no matter what.
Exactly.
She owns you, just so you know. And what is she now? 9?
8.
10. 9?
No, 8.
8. So 8 more years, she gets a car.
No boyfriend.
A motorcycle.
Yeah, she can get a motorcycle, just no boyfriend.
No boyfriend?
No.
I can't wait to see that. So your secret word is, this is good. I did not, so just for clarification, it's pink heart. I did not plant the card. I do not have a stack of secret cards over here that I'm pulling one, just so you'll have to think and coach on your own. But your word was, I'm sorry, it's too much white light. Awareness.
Awareness.
Teach
oh my
on
goodness.
Awareness.
Wow. Can I pass?
No, cannot pass. And if the internet connection drops, we just call you back. So sorry.
It's Africa. Sometimes it goes for a whole day. Yeah.
Hey, well, yeah, it's funny because you guys, he has to buy his internet by the minute. Like when he runs out today, he has to go down to the gas station and get more.
So for all those people from Africa that's watching this is what you call American ignorance. We can buy it from our phones.
I'm sorry. I forgot. It's now progressive. You can now buy it online.
You
don't
see?
have to go down to the corner station.
All right. Let's see. Awareness. Eric's awareness of Africa is very limited. But I would say over the past, let's call it a year and a half, one of the things that I've learned around awareness is we often see our day-to-day lives, work-wise, family-wise, our friendships, purely at face value. And I believe that there's always a deeper awareness that we can have of what is going on around us. And if we apply that both in our family life and at work, I would say it links strongly to emotional intelligence. If you are aware of the events around you, if you're aware of what drives those events, what drives certain things to happen, and not just look at the event that happened, you have a much better view of your life, and you can make better decisions, more educated decisions. We all like to take risks every once in a while, and if you are truly aware of your circumstances and your surroundings, and the people, and I'm someone who truly believes that understanding a person, their personality, what makes them tick, their heart, if you have that awareness, working with people, working with within any organization becomes very easy, and your life becomes easier, or at least a little bit more manageable, if you are completely 100% aware of everything around you.
So, still processing. What I think is interesting is you said, and last week Matthew talked about the idea that I need to understand what I was feeling when the action was created. Like he had to become self-aware of why he was angry, why he was frustrated, why he was behaving in a certain manner. And he had to allow himself enough time to look at other people and not look at the behavior, but look at the fuel behind the behavior. And you said almost the exact same thing, is I need to get out of the day-to-day events and look at what's driving the events, whether it's joy, fear, happiness, hunger, and loss. And, you know, as Maslow's 7 levels talks about too. So how do you, in one of those moments, like the road rage moments of life, when we're just so into the emotion of what's occurring around us, whether it's joy or anger, how do you grab a hold of that awareness?
It takes practice. You know, it's our human nature is when there's an event, the event triggers a reaction. The reaction is usually one of two: fight or flight. For most men, I think it's a fight response. So when someone comes to you or something happens, you immediately look at, how do I respond to this specific issue? Someone has now offended me. Someone has done something wrong to me. Problem at work. This is now costing money. But being able to look past the event and know that if I can get past and look at the cause behind it, what has caused this, what brought this on, your solution becomes a permanent solution, not a temporary fix. That takes practice. It's not easy. You cannot just, when something happens, decide, okay, now I'm going to look at the other one. It takes practice. You need to be self-aware. So you need to be conscious when something happens that now I have a choice. I can respond in two ways. I can respond to supply a quick fix, or punch the guy in the face, whatever the case is, or we can sit down, take a deep breath, become aware of what is behind it. It's a conscious decision you have to make. It does not come naturally to most people. But as with most habits, repeat it enough and it becomes a habit, and afterwards that becomes second nature.
Y'all, I just need to sit here in the presence of our own Eckhart Tolle and hear that, because if we respond in the moment, we win the moment. If we respond from what we're feeling in that moment, what we're only aware of on that moment, that top 10% of the iceberg kind of thing, then that's all we'll gain, is the moment. But if we can slow down and develop a practice or a habit of doing that, count backwards from 5, or take a deep breath and ask, what do I need to become aware of? Then we move beyond the moment and into a lifestyle, or into a vision, or into what we really want to accomplish in our life. And so we have a responsibility to our dreams, our purpose, and our passion. I say live into the moment, but also to understand that what we're living in the moment, is that what we want to echo for a lifetime. And I love the idea that I can respond in the moment. I can return punch for punch, anger for anger, frustration for frustration, win to win. Or I can take a moment, take a beat, breathe out, and go, wait a minute. What do I want this to look like next week, next month, and a year from now? And then base our actions.
Exactly. So is that good enough for Fun Friend Friday?
I find so often that we live in such a defense mode that we feel if we don't strike back first, we're going to be considered weak, or like we're rolling over, or, you know, that elbows in and fists up, I'm going to get through the day anybody that comes at me, I've got a response already planned. That only gets us through the day, but not through life. And so I love that idea that we need to become very aware of why we're acting into the moment that we're living.
And having that awareness takes a lot more, in my opinion, it takes a lot more courage than the off the hip, shooting from the hip response. It takes courage to be willing to look at it from the other person's perspective, or to see what's going on, and then you make your decisions from there. It's not a matter of, if I'm not going to put my fists up and fight right on the spot. If the guy rear ends you at a traffic light, there's no reason why you have to get out and scream and shout and get into road rage. Go and talk to the guy, become aware of his situation. Anything could have happened. And sometimes you might still end up punching him in the face, but...
You will. We're working on that. Trust me. That's part of our
we
work.
love peace.
But, Diane just popped on, and her father built a legacy, and seeing her reminded me, and it back ends into the lesson that you taught, that legacies aren't built in the moment. They're built over time. And if you're going to build a legacy, it's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen this week. It might not happen this month. It will only happen at the end of time. Will your legacy truly be revealed? So quit trying to win the moment and just start to be the moment, and be aware and be present in the moment for not only you, but as leaders, the person that's across from you. My good friend PK often says we run through life judging people based on the snapshot, and we've never even watched the whole movie. It's almost like going into a movie theater, seeing 3 seconds of the movie, and then trying to say what happened during the whole movie, or assuming that the trailer is really the whole movie. We can't judge people and employees and those around us based on that 1 second snapshot. We've got to take time and become aware of ourselves and them as well.
It's very well said. Very well said.
Yeah, well, you said it. I just interpreted it to English. I'm sorry, into English, the proper English.
Not American English, no?
So do the whole schedule thing. We all love when you guys say schedule, aluminum.
How do you say schedule?
That's very good. Don't you do the whole schedule?
No, those are the British.
Oh, sorry. But do you do ABZ or ABZ?
No, it's Z, not Z. Where do you come up with Z?
So it's a zebra, not a zebra?
Yeah, these Americans think they're so funny. I think everybody from Africa here on the side are thinking, what's this guy talking about? It's a zebra.
Yeah. It's a zebra. Okay, I'll coach my kid, who is Mr. Nature Lover, that we don't have any zebras. We have zebras,
Exactly.
and they're on their own schedule.
Precisely.
I see a lot of your South African and Africana friends, and I appreciate you guys for jumping in. I know it's the middle of the day there. What I do love about when we get to do International Fun Friend Friday is that leadership principles, values, life living success principles are international and universal, and they cross languages. Sometimes there's interpretation issues, but that at the end of the day, there's Toomey. Good morning, Toomey. And Margaret, and I see Diane and Tanya as well, that at the end of the day, we're all striving for the same thing, and that's to live fully into the moment and build legacies, whether it's in our offices or in our families or with our faith. And I got to tell you, 4 years ago, I didn't realize how big of an impact you would have on my life. And I'm so grateful for the time you gave me then and the time you've continued to give me as your friend. I know we fall in and out of touch, but that's because you're always hiding from your coaching sessions.
Yeah, you'll get me right one day. Don't worry. You'll get me. I don't doubt that.
I arrive when I'm supposed to. As Becky taught us, those divine appointments. I believe it was truly a divine appointment that I got to meet you 4 years ago in August at JMT, and you gave me the grace of your time that day to learn and grow from. And once again, through another divine appointment, you've touched a lot of people today with your wisdom. You've guided and really poured into us. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to have to digest and take notes. And truthfully, I'm going to steal some of the wisdom and call it my own, because I'm just declaring that right up front. But I do thank you for sharing the wisdom. Y'all need to follow Karel. He's smart man. But I do want to thank you so much. Are you doing any virtual trainings? If somebody wants to have it done by a South African with a proper accent.
Well, we have virtual training starting in June. So when the time comes, I'll be posting, and I'll use your platform to promote myself as well, of course.
Promise. Is that a promise?
Yes, it is, definitely.
And what is the you don't have to open the whole package, but just let us know what store it came from.
Sorry, say again.
You don't have to open the whole package. Just give us a hint what's coming in June.
The whole idea behind it is just being passionate, finding your passion and then following your passion. Where I am based now in South Africa, we see so many young people that just, they float around. You know, they have no direction, no dream, and the conditions in South Africa don't really encourage people to have a real dream nowadays. And we want to, I want to start impacting people and trying to see if we can get people's dreams alive again.
Well, I know your heart is for our youth, and changing wherever you're at, through the youth, and empowering them to become entrepreneurs and vision seekers and passion livers, and to break out of old stereotypes and political standards that will allow them to believe that they have the power to not only change themselves, their family's destiny, but ultimately their country. And I know that's a big heart for you. So, you know, I'm always in your corner. Anything you need from me, let me know. And we will watch for your June posting so that we can all participate.
Definitely look forward to that.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for joining me on Fun Friend Friday, all the way from South Africa. Lots of wisdom, so take time to digest it. Good morning, Lori. Good morning, Joe. Joe is probably going to go back and recap all the notes, because that's what Joe does so good. Good morning, Louie, and good morning, Margaret, and to Heather and everyone else. Go out and make today a success. Bye-bye, you guys.
Goodbye, everybody.